Hi everyone, welcome back. Today I thought I'd take you through my House of Colour fans so that I could show you each individual colour from all four seasons, all four colour seasons. So we'll start with the spring palette. So these colours are warm, light, bright, clear, splashy and translucent. We'll start off with the neutrals. So this is chocolate at the bottom, then beige and dove grey. Now chocolate is a deep golden brown, which is a great dark neutral for springs. We have beige, which is shared with the autumn palette, which is like a great warm light neutral for springs and autumns. And the dove grey is one of the silvery greys that is a very good deeper grey for springs. The light dove grey is a great light neutral for springs, which is a good light alternative as a grey. We have the bright navy, which is mixed with, it's like a royal blue mixed with the navy because springs need a brighter navy with a bit of warmth because springs really do need that brightness next to their faces, and the other navies are just either too dark or too heavy, so they need a lighter, brighter navy, which is really going to help them. And we have Oxford Blue, which is actually shared with Delph from the summer palette, but it's slightly warmer, slightly more yellow. We have Tan, which is shared with Autumn. This is a classic neutral for warm undertones. It's sort of like a mid-brown, and it's absolutely gorgeous on springs and autumns. Then we have Cinnamon, a golden spring colour. Very beautiful to look at, it makes you feel warm and cosy. The Honey is one of the great light neutrals and can actually be good for springs that like a yellow, but they might want a yellow that's not too bright, and this could be a good alternative as a yellow. Getting used to the gold around their faces, and because they really suit golden peachy colours, and they can have lots of yellows in their palette as long as they are warm and bright. Here we have oatmeal at the top, which is a peachier version of cream and a great alternative to pure white as well as the cream. Cream has more yellow in it, and banana is a great pastel yellow for springs that can also be used as a neutral if you are in the brighter subseasons. It's a light neutral as well. Light peach, which is also like oatmeal really, but it has even more peach, and it's another brilliant pastel for springs. Same as the peach, which is even warmer because as you can see it's more yellow and orange here, and the tangerine is especially warm. Only springs can wear this to the degree that they do. It's a definite exclusive colour for springs. Coral, which is shared with the autumn palette. This one is a great alternative to pink because springs need the warm peachy colours. It contains like a golden overtone to this. Can you see? It's quite golden and resort like. It's tropical. Has a tropical feel about that colour. The salmon is exclusively for springs and autumns, although it is more for springs. Shell pink, which is great for those pastel springs. It is one of those colours that borders the summer palette, and it's one of those colours that light pastel summers can get away with more, but if I try and wear shell pink, it just washes me out. because I'm a dark summer, so I'm too far away from the spring palette. Terracotta, a golden spring red, which can be used as neutral. Geranium, which is shared with autumn. This is a brilliant, vibrant red, and in this case, it's a splashy red when it comes to springs. And poppy, which is in all of the colour palettes because this is true red. So everyone can wear this and look at least very good. We have geranium pink, which is like a birthday cake kind of pink. It has a peachy overtone to it. Flamingo pink is a very bright, warm pink, exclusively for springs, especially paint box springs. Or flamingo pink can be one of the wow colours for blue springs as well, more commonly. Maybe even golden springs as well. The shocking pink is definitely a blue spring colour because this one is shared with the winter palette, specifically spring to winters, because they are very close to spring. And as you can see, this is quite blue looking next to these two here. So this is the coldest pink, the coolest, most blue based pink from the spring palette. Then we have leaf green, which is the bluest green from the spring palette, a blue spring colour. Curry green is one of the warmest greens, and it kind of crosses over with grass green from the autumn palette. It's beautifully warm and golden looking on springs, as well as some autumns as well. But I think you do have to be more of a vibrant autumn in order to get away with the curry green from the spring palette. Apple green, which is exclusively for springs because it's too light and bright and warm for the other seasons. Although I will say that winters can get away with the brightness, but it's too warm and a bit too light. So really it's an exclusively spring colour. Same goes for the mint green here, although this is a bit more yellow. And here we have canary yellow, which is a very bright light yellow, and it's stunning on springs. Same with the corn yellow, which is the most golden yellow, quite a central spring colour. Violet, which suits nearly everybody. It's beautiful. I love that. I wear it myself actually because it is one of those universal colours, I find. Although obviously it's better on springs, but it is quite universal. It's not too heavy, it's not too light, it's not too bright, it's not too warm, it's not too cool. It's one of those quite neutral colours. Bright blue, which is shared with the cornflower from the summer palette. I wear that as well. Hyacinth. This is also shared with the summer palette. Bright blue is a very radiant blue because springs, when they wear the bluest blues, it needs to be radiant, not too hard and not too dark. This is light and bright enough for springs. And the hyacinth is obviously best with the pastel springs, I would say. Aqua is a beautiful bright turquoise, which is shared with lagoon blue from the winter palette, and turquoise is shared with turquoise blue from the winter palette. And the warmest version of turquoise within the spring palette is the aquamarine. This contains the most yellow. As you can see, it looks really autumnal compared to the other ones. This one looks the most wintry, I would say, and it's the coolest turquoise, whereas the aqua is the lightest and brightest and is more central to the spring palette and is really, really on the border with the winter palette. It's so bright. It's definitely one of the central bright. It's bright in dominance, I would say, just like the lagoon blue from winter. And yeah, the turquoise is definitely the most blue of the turquoises. Aquamarine can sometimes be borrowed from vibrant autumns if they really do border the spring palette, if they are really on the cusp. But it can be a bit light and bright for some. So that's all of the spring palette. And next, we're going to move on to the summer palette. So these colours are soft blue, smoky, and rose. So these ones have more blue in them, whereas the spring ones had more yellow in them. These ones have more blue in them, and they have more grey in them, so they are softer. Pink beige, which is one of the warmest neutrals you'll find in the summer palette. It's very bordered with autumn, but it contains a bit more pink, so it's just neutral cool. Powder pink, which is more of a pastel than icy pink or ice pink. Mushroom, which is a pinky brown compared to the warm browns from the spring palette. I'll give you an example. The tan, oh no, that's the wrong one. Or the chocolate, you'll see that mushroom is more grey and the chocolate is more golden. Mushroom's more pinky and grey, more blue. Chocolate is more yellow. Same with the tan and the cinnamon. I'll show you another example. More examples. Look for the difference. Can you tell the difference? Very ashy. This brown here is very ashy, very pinky. These ones are very golden. Have a lot more yellow in them compared to this one. Just knocked my PlayStation 3 controller over. Yeah. Next one. Again with the rose brown. This is a deeper pinky brown. And actually the more I look at this, the more I think, oh, I like it. Actually, I would like to get it as a pair of trousers. Maybe not quite next to the face because browns can make me look slightly sallowed. Although a bittersweet chocolate from the winter palette. Now that would be exquisite and would actually match my hair a bit more. This is a bit lighter than my hair. Musk pink is the warmest pink. One of the warmest pinks in the summer palette. You can see it's starting to turn like an autumn leaf. Here, it's really a brown, soft summer colour. So it's starting to become like the autumn leaves when they just start to turn from that pink to that warm red. That's how I would describe it, but it's still cool because it's in summer, just like those leaves that are turning. And the dusty pink, very, very greyed pink. It's very light, it's very grey. This is one of those colours from my palette that I never wear next to my face because it's just boring next to my face, quite frankly. The soft white. This is sort of mixed with a vanilla. Yeah, it's more grey than pure white because we often need softer white. Although in my case, I can have softer white or the pure white. Lucky me, because I love both. I love the pure white. French navy, which is a more smoky navy, more greyed and a bit lighter than the winter's navy, which is the really dark navy. Dark blue grey. This grey has more blue mixed in it than the hard greys from winter because summers need a bit of blue mixed in so that the grey doesn't cause shadows on the face. Although in my case, because I border with winter, I can get away with the greys from the winter palette as well. Again, look at me. The light blue grey, a brilliant light neutral for summers. Air Force blue, one of my favourite blues in the middle. Very cool, still soft enough for summers. The Delft, which is quite close to the royal blue, but it's a bit more muted, so it fits within our palette. Next we have Primrose at the top, one of the warmest colours from the summer palette. And this is definitely the only yellow in this palette that you can see. I mean, there will be other versions like a light lemon yellow, but This is the example on this fan. They have the powder blue, which is a very elegant light blue compared to an ice blue, which would be much sharper compared to this sky blue, which is a lovely mid blue from the summer palette. Then we go to cornflower, which is one of my favourites. I absolutely love cornflower. And on summers, like myself, it looks bright. Whereas on someone who's a winter, it would look a bit dull. But as you can see, on me, it looks bright. And hyacinth, again, from the spring palette. Then we have lavender, which is a pinky purple, which is very cool. Only summers can wear that to the degree that we can, because it's cool, it's light, and it's soft. It's one of those very central summer colours. Sea green. This one at the top is shared with Kingfisher from the autumn palette. It's one of the brown soft summer colours, but it's actually one of my wow colours because it's also the coolest out of the three. You know, it's also the deepest out of the three. Jade, which is more mid-range, and then we have pastel jade, which is for pastel summers. If I wear pastel jade next to my face, it can, I mean, it's okay, but it can be a bit light on its own. And pastel jade looks very close to the spring palette. You know, starting to get that yellowness about it as well that you can really see compared to the other two. Duck egg. Now, duck egg is one of the blue greens, and it's very light, just like pastel aqua. Although my best turquoise from the summer palette is the duck egg, because it has more depth to it, and it contains more blue than the pastel aqua, which contains a bit more white. Duck egg is one of the mid-range colours as well. And then we have lilac, which is a great pastel summer colour and can be used as a neutral as well. I think pastel aqua can be used as a neutral for dark summers. Smoked grape, which is a great dark neutral, which is one of the beautiful deep purples that is smoky from the summer palette. And the plum, which is one of the fun purples from the summer palette, one of the beautiful brights and basics. Amethyst, which is mid-range. My best ones are these two because they match my intensity and undertone perfectly, as well as my value, which means light or dark. Whereas the amethyst is very good, but it still doesn't match my level of intensity. Cyclamen, which is another plummy pink, and so is the clover. These ones are the lighter ones, often used as neutrals, but can be wows as well, especially if you are mid-range or more pastel summer. And the raspberry, one of my favourite pinks in the entire world. This is one of the bright colours, which is actually shared with the winter palette. And it's a bit like fuchsia, but it's more red. It's more of a reddy pink, and I really love it. But it is very cool. Very, very cool. Burgundy, which is also shared with the winter palette, a deep red. Deep bluey red. And I love this one. One of my wow colours as well. And goes beautifully with navy or French navy. Although on some summers it can look heavy. So they need lighter reds like the cherry or the coral red. Cherry is more mid-range and coral red is more towards the autumn palette. This is the warmest red with the coral red. You can see it's starting to turn like the autumn leaves again. You know, like August when you see the leaves change on the trees. And the last three are rose madder, another slightly more warm pink. And you have rose, which is obviously cooler, and the pastel rose, which is obviously lighter. So musk pink belongs to the soft brown summer, rose is mid-range, so it's true sweet pea summer, and pastel rose is from the pastel summer. Again, this kind of looks like the shell pink from the spring palette, but this is cooler. So pastel springs might be able to get away with that as well, just like they can with the shell pink, because they're not too far away from each other. Next, I'll be looking at the autumn palette, the warm, rich, vibrant, earthy colours. First, we have the dark brown. Now, there's a dark brown in spring. If you look at the Red Leopard colour system, they have a dark brown in their spring palette as well. And dark brown is similar to chocolate, but it's darker because autumns need more depth in their colours, because if their colours are too light, often it can look lightweight and inexpensive, so they need their colours to be deepened. When your colours are yellow based, if you deepen them, they become softer, because yellow's primarily a tint, so as soon as you deepen it, it becomes more muted. Just like with blue, blue is primarily a shade, so as soon as you lighten blue, it becomes more muted. Which is why summers often need lighter blues rather than deeper, harder blues. Chestnut, which is more orangey, quite reddish. Very, very central to the autumn palette. The tan, which is shaded with the spring palette once again, more golden. Whereas chestnut is more coppery. Brick red. Now this is an orangey red, which can look really vibrant on autumns. And obviously geranium is centrally warm. It's just, yeah, I mean, just it's self-explanatory. Rust, which is again a centrally autumn colour. Very true autumn. Lots of autumns have rust as a wow colour. Same with brick, actually. We have the coral, shared with spring. The apricot, which is a bit like peach, but it's deeper. We have the mid peach, which is a great alternative to white for autumns. Same with the oyster. Oyster is the best alternative for white for autumns. It's very it's quite creamy, and it's like a deeper cream. It's lovely for autumns. The light sage, which is a very soft autumn colour. Same with the apple jade. You can see that they're starting to look like summer colours here. They look quite cooled down for the autumn palette, quite blue based compared to some of the other greens I'm about to show you. Rosewood, which is definitely autumn. Coffee, which is deeper brown, definitely deeper than a lot of them that you see in the spring palette. And the camel, which is a bit like honey, but it's softer and it's deeper. Camel is a great neutral for autumns, especially the soft autumns. They really can wow in camel. Again, we have the beige at the top. Khaki, which is very much a soft autumn colour. Some autumns can look a bit wishy-washy in khaki on its own, especially the blue autumns or the vibrant autumns. Lizard grey, which is pretty much the only grey, or I think putty is another grey that autumns can wear. It's an olivey grey. It's like olive green mixed with mixed with grey to make autumn's perfect grey. Dark olive, which is a warm, deep olive. And I would say that blue autumns often suit that very well. The moss green, which is the warmest green of the three here, and we have the light olive, which is the softest. This could be considered to be one of the pastels for autumns, just like the light sage and the apple jade. Here we get very vibrant. These are the ones I resonate with the most because I like how bright they are. The grass green, which is very much like the curry green from the spring palette. Let me just get that out here. Yeah, it's very similar. Very, very similar. This is more yellow, like this one is. Very, very similar. So if you are a vibrant autumn, I'll be very surprised if you can't borrow Kerry Green from the spring palette because they are so similar that you can. And lime green is a great one for Golden Springs to wear if they want an alternative. Because this is very, very warm and it's vibrant. It's bright enough for a Golden Spring. Old Gold, which is central autumn colour. No other season can wear this than autumn because it is so soft, yet so warm, yet so deep. It's very central to autumn's orange. This is another one that springs can borrow from because it's so bright, so warm, centrally warm colour. Only warm undertones can wear orange. Amber, which again is central to autumns because it's, look at the depth of it. It's like a burnt orange. It's like you put this in the oven, or it's, you know, it's gone to the end of autumn and it's starting to turn from vibrant to more blue autumn. You see it's starting to get deeper as you get towards winter. And then you have saffron, which is a lovely vibrant autumn colour. Think October. This is October. October is warm, vibrant autumn. And that's when the leaves really get colourful and beautiful. They have mustard, which is very central to autumns. They're good for the soft and the true autumns. Yellow ochre, very vibrant autumn. I think Golden Springs can also wear the yellow ochre. The warm Golden Springs, delicious on people with very warm undertones. The bronze, which is very deep, yet another blue autumn neutral, because it can be quite heavy on a lot of autumns, but people who are blue autumns excel in bronze. Sometimes soft autumns can as well, as long as they have enough depth about them, because if they don't, it can look a bit heavy and put a bit of shadow in next to their faces. Marine navy is their perfect navy. It's like teal mixed with navy to make it rich, because autumns need richness, because their colours are so golden that anything that's not rich just will not look right. Royal purple, which is shared with the winter palette. This is quite a neutral colour, I would say, but I think blue autumns work best with it than any other autumn, because autumns don't work that well in purple a lot of the time unless they are blue autumns. And the heliotrope, which is the bluest blue you're going to get within the autumn palette. Anything bluer than that, it ain't going to work. Because autumns have the fewest amount of blues in their palette, because this palette is extremely warm. So blues are a rarity for autumns. They have blue greens most of the time, or blue purples, just so there's enough warmth in the blues to make it work for them. The Kingfisher, which is shared with the summer palette, but this is slightly warmer, although you're not really going to notice much of a difference on either of us. So we can, so if it's sea green or kingfisher, it doesn't really matter as long as it's, you know, this colour. Peacock, which is the warmest blue in the autumn palette. Lots of autumns have peacock as a wow colour. Very central to autumn. And they have the forest green, which is almost like pine green from the winter palette, but this is warmer. This has more yellow in it. And again, the blue autumns excel in colours like that because it's very dark and it's more neutral warm. It's not extremely warm. So they excel in colours that are more neutral warm and start to border on the winter cool side. Speaking of which, I'm going to move on to the winter palette next. When these colours are cool, bright, vivid, icy and high contrast value. They are also clear, vivid. So these colours are very, very dominant. Pure white, which is just white. Silver, which is an icy grey. Beautiful. I like to wear silver actually because it's very cool. Light grey, which is a brilliant light neutral for winters. As you can see, they're very, very snowy neutrals. It's like you're looking at snow and it's like you're looking at snow in the shadow. This is snow and it starts to get shadowing. The grey, very icy. There's a feeling of winter in these colours, especially with the black. Black is the darkest neutral out there, and if you're not a winter, black is just going to put shadows on your face and make you look a bit drained. Indigo, a beautiful deep neutral for winters. It's a purple. It's like smoked grape, but deeper. So it's bright enough for winters, for their colours to harmonise together. And there's the royal purple once again from autumn. Yeah, so this is the royal purple from the autumn palette once again. The navy, which I love to wear. I love navy. Absolutely love it, as you can see. But this is very deep. It's mixed with a bit more black to make it a more traditional navy. Royal blue. Oh, this is my favourite. I love this part. As soon as you get to more blue pigment within the winter palette, they're the colours that I love to borrow from. The royal blue, the electric blue. I love to borrow these. These are my favourites. Especially with silver. So much blue in these colours. The indigo from the sultry winter part of the palette. So is the royal blue. The electric blue can also come under sultry, but it mostly comes under the dual winter. It's often quite central to the winter palette, but springs and some dark summers can look good in it as well. Mole, which is one of the brownest browns you're going to get within the winter palette. There aren't many browns at all in the winter palette. The only other one that they have is the bitter chocolate, and that's very, very dark and blue as a brown. And in fact, it's one of my favourite browns. That or the cocoa from the summer palette, which is also in the Red Leopard Drape selection. I love cocoa and bitter chocolate. Stunning. Stone is quite a universal neutral, you know, for trousers and things like that, bags, but it is from the winter palette because it is just on the border of cool, and it's great for burnished winters, just like mole, because they border the autumn palette. Fuchsia, another one of my favourites to borrow from because it has a lot of blue based pigment in this, and it's very cool, and it's from the sultry and the Dual Sultry Winter palette. Magenta, which is quite central to the winter palette, and it's Dual or Spring to Winters. They excel in magenta because it's so bright but very cool as well. Cerise, which is starting to get towards that blue spring territory, just like the Shocking Pink. They're starting to look warmer as you go down. The Shocking Pink is the warmest pink. And they start to get lighter and brighter, so they start to go towards spring because those colours are lighter as well. Back to one of my favourite pinks, the Raspberry from the Summer palette as well, shared with the Summer palette. The Damson's another one I like to borrow from. It's a beautiful deep reddish purple. And then we have the burgundy at the bottom once again. This is very summer. These colours are very sultry winter here. Beautiful, beautiful. Love how blue based they are. Same with the Carmine. This is another one I like to borrow from. A very bluey, bright red. It's a brighter red alternative for dark summers. And it's like me. If we want a brighter red that's very blue based, we can go here. Scarlet, which is almost like true red but brighter and slightly, ever so slightly on the cool harmonizing side. Acid Yellow is great for spring to winters, bright winters. Blue Springs can just about get away with it because of the fact it's yellow. It's a cooler yellow, but it's still yellow. And Blue Springs are neutral warm, so their temperature is less important. So colours like Acid Yellow, which are neutral cool, will still just about work for them because it's so bright as well. If I wear Acid Yellow, I'm overpowered. Turquoise Blue and the Lagoon Blue, which are from... This is from the Dual Winter, the Turquoise Blue. Lagoon Blue is often from Dual Winter or Spring to Winters. These cross over with the Spring palette. Light Emerald, which is a bit like the Jade, but slightly more bold. The Dark Emerald, which is very central to winters, because any other season that wears Dark Emerald will look heavy. It can be quite chilling to look at some people in Dark Emerald. Quite scary if you don't suit it. Pine Green, which is a bit like the Forest Green from the Autumn palette, but this is more blue based, and actually it's one of the colours that I like to borrow from if I want to wear a green. Same with the Light Emerald. The Ice Green, which is from the Spring to Winter palette, very, very close to pure white. Every icy colour that you're about to see is very close to pure white with just a drop of colour in them. So the Ice Green is pure white with just a drop of green to make it barely green, but still crisp, clear, icy and bright. Same with the Ice Blue, Ice Pink, Ice Hyacinth, the Ice Aqua, Ice Hyacinth, and Ice Lemon. The Ice Lemon, I would say, is the coolest yellow you are going to get. So Blue Springs can't borrow this one. It's far too cool compared to the Acid Yellow from earlier, which I'm going to show you as a comparison. Oh, got a bit lost there. Acid Yellow, which is obviously warmer, contains more yellow here than the Ice Lemon, which is very bluey in comparison. So that's all of the colours, guys. I hope that you enjoyed looking at the colours. This was a requested video, so thank you for the request to look at these colour fans. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel if you enjoyed this content. Share this video. Don't forget to ring that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of my content. And I will see you in the next video. Take care. Good night.